Maybe. Maybe everything will load this time. God, I'm like knocking over stuff while I'm trying to do this. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to take off the mask so that the deaf community can read my lips because my sign is not fast enough. Okay. Cool. So, a lot of stuff to talk about this week. What news-wise? Any news?
Yeah, you just got the video.
Oh, yeah, Eddie Van Halen died. Ooh, I was a huge Van Halen fan. I think I was a bigger Sammy Hagar fan than I was Van Halen. But that's kind of a shock. Right? That's a music legend right there. I think I mean I was a big Van Halen fan growing up, but I think I was more shocked about Tom Petty dying than this. I mean Eddie and David Lee Roth and all them did a magnanimous amount of drugs,
to say the least.
so I'm not super surprised. I mean,
I'm surprised they made it this long.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not super shocked. It's like I think that was part of why Sammy Hagar split off Van Halen was because he was like, "Yo, I'm a little older. I don't want to be partying like this all the time."
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, rock. It's the way rock and roll goes. What else? Any other news? More movies got pushed back. I'm not really shocked. It's weird because it's sinking the or the movie industry by them pushing back movies, but they won't stop because they don't want to have these low numbers. What else?
That's pretty much it for the industry.
That's all that I can think of. Comics news. Any comics news?
We just put in FOC for Ronin.
Oh yeah,
That's
TMNT
next month.
Ronin's next month, right?
Yeah,
a month
yeah.
and a half away. So people can stop walking in and going, "You got that TMNT Ronin?" No, but we've got TMNT, which is a great title. Everyone should be reading, and they all just stare at me like I have a dong growing out of my head.
Didn't that get pushed back because of the Ashcan?
Maybe the whole Ashcan controversy too. Like we didn't get any,
No.
and they're going for like 1,000 on eBay now. I'm probably exaggerating. It's probably a couple hundred, but
Maybe.
it's pretty friggin' ridiculous.
Especially, well, considering they changed the whole artwork because of that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think everybody's hyped because Eastman and Laird are both on it, and whenever they're on it together, like those books are amazing. Although I think him having sold like his chunk of the franchise to Eastman, and maybe okay, maybe a lot of people who were fans didn't want to see Michael Bay put his hands on him, but Eastman still was at the helm and did a lot of good things with that title. And I mean, there's a whole line of TMNT comics because of him. He just never quit.
I mean, when the two of them worked together, I mean, that's when we got like that big popularity rise with the cartoon and the toys. They all had hands on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh boy, I'm tired. So let's get to the comics. Okay, so the first one we're gonna discuss this week is, yeah, we'll just do it. We'll just jump right into it. It's Batman 100, and we saw a lot of stuff happen in the last one. For one, Joker revived Alfred with his toxin, which is all types of messed up. So he hit Batman with that. And this is pretty much the wrap up to the Joker War. We know that Lucius Fox rather, has the entirety of the Wayne fortune now, and Bruce Wayne's got to start from ground zero. Meanwhile, but Catwoman never gave it back to Bruce Wayne. She gave it to Lucius Fox for good reason. And so so that happened. And it's the final chapter of the sort of Joker War. Not sort of, but the Joker War-esque, and this cover is just amazing. But it's it's a good fight. It's a good fight. But what I do like in the way that Tinian the Fourth wrote this is that the Joker War is very explosive. It's a very explosive and full Age of Chaos theme, whereas City of Bane was just psychological torture left and right. A very long, slow, painful burn, which makes sense when you consider both these villains. So I was perfectly happy with the wrap-up. And I will say that even though it's a good arc for Batman, the wrap-up is a better arc for Harley. and really, comes to show you that how much Harley has grown over the last few years and changed as a character. And really, I love Harley as a character because there's so much depth to her. It's so weird that she came out of the animated series and not the comics, but originally. But she's stopped fights with Black Canary when she found out Black Canary was pregnant, and then brought her gifts in the hospital. She corrected Dr. Fate and said, some people have earned that title. I really like Harley as a character, and seeing her grow this much is it's kind of mind blowing. So if you've been reading Batman, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and how much her character has changed. So I won't spoil the wrap up, but I will say that it's explosive, it's good, it's good. It's leading to better things. We'll see. So next is The Dreaming Waking Hours, and this is G. Willow Wilson, Nick Robles, and Matt Lopez. Let's talk about this. G. Willow. Why can't I just talk all of a sudden? G. Willow Wilson clearly is a Shakespeare super fan, I think, and that is really shown in this issue. She loves all things Shakespeare, and really, it's almost like she starts discussing the philosophical implications of being Shakespeare or contributing to Shakespeare's mythos. And so all of that is covered in here. Also, this cover, my God, what a cover. It is just beautiful. And the story itself, the Dreaming has really good art. I haven't complained about it once. And I'm not going to start even on this miniseries here. It's really good. And, the story's good. I'm not a Shakespeare super fan, but I can see that G. Willow Wilson loves him very much, and it shows in that piece, so it's good. Next is American Vampire, 1976, Scott Snyder, Raphael Albuquerque, with Dave McCaig. I can't pronounce that last name. I'm sorry, Dave. But this is DC Black Label, and I have a confession. I have never read any of the American Vampire, or I have read American Vampire and promptly forgotten it thanks to brain damage. It could be either way. We could go either way. I'm not entirely sure what I've forgotten, but this series feels new to me, and I'm super interested in where it goes. It picks up. We can't really talk about it issue 1 without talking about spoiling a little bit of it, but it picks up following the main character who was American Vampire, is now human, and is now doing death-defying feats with carnies on the road to I don't know, just kind of wake up and live life, I guess. It feels like. And so it sort of picks up from there. There is a bombshell of somebody being alive that apparently was dead, but I don't know either one of the characters. I'm super intrigued. The art was great. I see why people gush about American Vampire. The art was really good. The story was great. There was a hell of a hook, and I'm super interested. But okay, I'm kind of a big Scott Snyder fan. I'm not going to complain when there's new Scott Snyder stuff in my hand. That will never happen. So yeah, it's pretty darn good. I think you should come pick it up and check it out. And then the variant cover has a 1934 Ford Coupe on the cover. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That might actually be mine. We have a couple more, so if you really want it, we might have one for you. Next is In the Valley of Starros. The starfish with one eye is king. Okay. This is Williamson, Zermaco, and Ferraro Jr. And yeah. It's, in my opinion, although I did chuckle a couple times at this, and I wasn't super bored, I will say of all the death metal tie-ins, I feel like the Justice League stuff is the weakest. I mean, we've got Nightwing reuniting with Cyborg and pretty much all of the Justice League Odyssey team that has been brought back, and we've got Detective Chimp in there, which I love anything with Detective Chimp. But as far as the death metal tie-ins go, this is probably the weakest. This one, in my opinion, is wholly skippable. It centers around mishmash part of the Justice League having to go and accomplish a mission in the death metal universe, and I've just kind of been bored with it the whole way through. One thing I will say is I like how they handle dealing with Lex. They roll up on Lex, and Lex is like, "You need my help," and they're like, "No, No, no, we don't. They just like leave him. And he's like, but you need my help. They're like, nah, piss off, Lex. Sick of your shenanigans. So that is exactly how it should always happen. So I really kind of like that. But the rest of it, then again, I'm not a huge fan of Ferraro Jr. Although I will say that I get my juniors mixed up sometimes, and I think I give Ferraro Jr. More crap because I get him confused with Ramita Jr., who I really don't like. But yeah, that's just yeah, I don't know. I'm such an art snob. Sorry. Next is Bendis Walker Godlewski. I can't talk. And Iltabe. I still swear that word is like backwards. Every time I see it. Anyways, we're talking about Wonder Comets and more importantly, Young Justice issue number 19. This one centers around Wonder Girl being the granddaughter of Zeus, and Zeus has got some expectations of people who are part of the pantheon, and he's putting some pressure on her, and it's not going to work out the way he wants because it's Wonder Girl, and of course, her loyalty lies to the family and the team of Young Justice. So that's what you get here. It's good. I've liked all of these issues that center around each of the individual characters of Young Justice because although I've read a fair share of it, some of these characters aren't always center stage, and I do like seeing like refreshers on some of their themes and backstories, and I think that's good. And plus, new readers for Young Justice would absolutely eat this stuff up and should enjoy it for good reason. It's great. The art is amazing. Nothing to complain about with the art. It's definitely very good in DC. And yeah, the story is pretty good. It's pretty much what I want out of a Wonder Woman comic, but it's Wonder Girl. So that's perfect. That's perfect. That's how it should be. Next is DC, issue number 4 of Deceased, Dead Planet, and wow, almost my pick of the week. Almost. If Batman 100 didn't come out this week, this would be my pick of the week. And I loved it. Honestly, this Dead Planet line is so good. I will say I didn't like a lot of the other offshoots of the DC stuff. But this one in particular is great. And we get Mr. Miracle doing what Mr. Miracle does, which is all types of hysterical. And it's nice to see him utilized proper. That's all I'm going to say. When he bumps into, his brother and the other new gods, he's just like, piss off. And that's the Mr. Miracle I want. That's the Freeman I want. So, yeah, it was great. What's up, Marshall Lewis? It was great. I had a good time with it. The art was great. Nothing to complain about here. And believe me, I will complain because what was the other one that I didn't like? Unkillables? Didn't like the art in Unkillables. I do love the art in this one.
Heavy-weighted lines, man.
Yeah, and then this John Kent Superman looks so good. I like that costume. It's great. And Mr. Miracle eventually shaves, which is awesome. He doesn't look like Grizzly Adams Miracle, which was what he originally looked like when he popped back up. Yeah, I had a great time with this. I chuckled out loud a couple times, was not bored, wanted to know more by the time we got to the end. It's a perfect comic. Next is okay. Look, I really love Jamal Campbell. I love his art. I really love N.K. Jemisin. I love her science fiction. And I get that you're trying to be topical, but when you're dealing with a technology race in this storyline that is called the Atats, and they eat human memes for sustenance, and some of them were tricked into doing the bidding of someone named Anon. That's just too much cringe. That's a cringe overdose. I back and started to wonder if I was not high on some kind of morphine or something while I was reading. It was wild. No. There's a lot of cringe in how this was written, and keep in mind, I love Far Sector. I'm a huge Far Sector fan, but that's just too weird. You're just getting too weird, a little too dialed in.
I think my Twitter about that on Wayne Cube.
on Wayne too. Too much trying to appeal to the hey, what's up with my fellow kids?
Yeah. Man. Yeah.
We talk about the Maymays. The Maymays and the Anons. Okay.
What's the meme?
Okay. Cringe aside, is the art great? Yes, it's Jamal Campbell. The art is top tier. He is, in my opinion, one of the best artists in the industry right now, and would never complain about his art. N.K. Jemisin is at the top of her game as far as science fiction writing is concerned. I still stand by what I said. The aliens she's created in here are really memorable and all sort of based on other franchises, and I can feel it, and it feels good. I liked most of this run. I just the cringe in this issue in particular is pretty hard. And granted that this part of the arc gets resolved, so hopefully we won't have to discuss the at eating cat memes and dealing with Anon anymore beyond this issue. But wow, if you need to screenshot something that really, really will make people cringe, we got you covered. Okay. Next is issue 5. This is Burnett, Dini, Templeton, Kubina, and this is Batman. The Adventure Continues. Of course I read this issue. Why would I have read this issue?
Batman? Oh, are you talking about the Red Hood?
Yeah, because Red Hood's on the cover. And I will say this is sort of a rehashing and retelling of Jason Todd's origin story, minus him getting beat to death by the Joker. They don't show that in this particular issue, but it's implied. Yeah. So it's good. It's good, but as a Red Hood fan, I know all this stuff. Nothing's really blowing my mind here. But this is the animated series eventually, introducing Red Hood, and it's good to see. And anything with Red Hood in it, it's always going to get a nod from me. The art, you know what you're getting. You're getting the updated animated series art. It's essentially what it is.
I'm just hoping, man, that since everything's moving to HBO, that they grab Mark Hamill and they grab all the original voice actors and they just go over there and they just continue the adventure.
Oh God, that would be great, right? Maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe. I think Mark Hamill pretty much put that character to bed. Though he was like, "I'm done doing the Joker." I think. Mark Hamill's done so much stuff, though, dude. Like I always wondered, why did we not get any more Wing Commanders? Because those had Mark Hamill too, and I would have loved to see more Wing. Guyver.
Yeah, Guyver. It was Mark Hamill, man.
Guyver.
Yeah, 1980s sci-fi.
Was that an anime?
It was an anime. And then
I didn't know Mark Hamill was in that. Man, he did voice acting for days, dude.
Live action with that.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Okay. So, anyways, Batman the Adventure Continues. If you're a Batman fan, you will be happy with this. Not as happy as Batman 101. I mean, 100, but pretty happy. Last book on our list is the one that always hits home. The one that I wish he had a mainline, running title on our shelves. And that, of course, is the Legend of the Swamp Thing Halloween Spectacular. What do you get in this issue? Well, you get Swampy righting a wrong. And then the Alec Holland Swamp Thing starts discussing with the old Willow different versions of Swamp Thing throughout history. And it's good. It's not really anything we haven't seen before, but it was kind of a fun storyline. I had a good time with it. And as far as Halloween is concerned, this is perfect. It's not that's the only thing is I will say that DC's holiday specials never feel as if you get the Halloween, you don't feel super scared. This is an Immortal Hulk. This is a Halloween that I could give a kid and maybe be okay with it. It's not too brutal.
It's like the tongue-in-cheek, hey, we're gonna celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the New Year's Evil. That was not very evil.
No, not very evil.
Dog Days of Summer and stuff those are all just chill titles.
Yeah, it's DC's holiday stuff, and it's good. We all know what we get, but by God, if they do a Christmas special this year and they don't finally include Larfleeze, the Grinch of the DC universe, I will be furious.
And for the record, if you guys find any Larfleeze merch, tag Steve.
Yeah,
He
please.
wants it.
I always want Larfleeze merch.
He wants all of it.
Oh, yes. And this will be the last book on our list for this week. It's kind of a short week. What other news? Do we have any other news?
Swamp Thing is getting that written book.
Oh, Swamp Thing's going to the CW. We know that. Which I'm happy. They're just re-airing the first season, but hopefully it leads to a second season. Please, God, rescue Swamp Thing so that I can finally get that Swamp Thing hat I've always wanted that never doesn't exist. One day. Let's see. There was some sort of Stan Sakai Usagi. Stan Sakai's 47 Ronin.
47, yeah.
Already sold out. 47 Ronin by Stan Sakai, so you get his art with that. Already sold out. I'm a huge Sakai fan, so yeah. Yep. God. What else?
That's all I got.
That's all I can think of.
Probably have more for tomorrow.
We definitely one of our regulars came in asking for a book, and we suggested House of X, Powers of X,
Oh, yes.
and he came back in and was like, "That book, God, you guys, wow!" we're like, we knew we were handing you crack cocaine.
Basically.
We knew what we were giving you. Now you want all the X-Men titles, don't you?
Give me everything with Hickman's name.
Somebody picked up that Avengers over there and was like, "Have you read this?" And I was like, "No, but it says Hickman, so I'd probably like it." Oh man.
All right.
I think that's it. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow with Marvel and Indies. So yeah, take care. Gotta end everything. And goodbye, Marshall Lewis. Talk to you later, man. And goodbye.